What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another SLA video. Folks, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a crazy cold day outside, and I decided to come back home right now and do a little bit of a cleanup on my free-to-play account because, quite honestly, I was not prepared for the top 1,000 when it came down to our boy Voltaire, but I did get top 6,000 on my free-to-play. Now, I'm only talking free-to-play. Pay to win, top 1,000, no joke, easy. Eyes closed, super fast fight. But when it came down to the free-to-play account, I really want to make sure that for the next one, I'm a little bit more prepared because I was lacking a little bit of power. Now, one of my biggest deficits in power was in fact my gem. So I'm going to go over the gem system with you guys again, talk a little bit about what you should do for setups and stuff. Now, some of you guys who are free to play or even Dolphins were not able to finish Voltaire due to power. That has of course been now reduced because the announcements officially noted that we have completed the 6,000. And for those asking when are we going to get the rewards, well, that is going to be happening very soon. You guys can see Christopher Reed is also dropping on 12/18, and at the same time we're getting ourselves a brand new combat system called, I think it's Elemental Infusion. So we got a lot to talk about. For those asking me about leaks, guys, I only share leaks that I know about. If there are leaks that I don't know about, I'm not going to talk about it. There's no point in talking about stuff that I'm not aware of. I mean, we can say anything's going to be leaked, right? I can say my bathroom's leaking. So, but I'm not going to talk about all that stuff just because, again, for those asking me, hey, like so-and-so put out a video about a leak, are you going to talk about it? No, not really. Because again, if I don't have the information in front of me, I don't think it makes sense to talk about it. If it's in front of me, then I will talk about it, right? So for those asking about anything going on in the future that I've not already discussed, I'm sorry, guys. Don't know what else to really discuss outside of that, outside of what I've been told and what I'm comfortable talking about. All right, with that being said, guys, also don't forget content creator program going on. Our first coach should be on the way very soon. We're just going to surprise you guys with that when it pops in because we now are getting surprised with when these are coming in. So don't forget to click that support button, guys. Super simple. It's free to do. Get yourself some free codes. This is a brand new season, so about 5 to 7 codes should be dropping, and I'll be sending those to all my supporters. I want to say a big shout out to everybody again who are supporting my top 10: BW Panda 11, Dees, Makaja 3906, 0719, Darks, J-Sto, Dan Burrito, 5612. And Ryan 3400. Love you guys. Thank you to my top 10 and everyone else also supporting all the way down to the last 2,403. So let's talk a little bit about gems, right? Because this has been a big thing. It is one of the biggest forms of power gain. And if you are free to play and you are currently trying to get to the next level as free to play or Dolphin, gems play a big role in your actual power gain. So you guys can see here on my free to play, I've got 3.269. So heading to the next battle tier. And I'm assuming, guys, I think this is comfortable enough to say this. We could expect probably the next hard mode to be roughly about 4 million-ish, 4.1-ish. Again, this is a guess based on just the trending of the previous ones. So make sure if you guys are looking to prepare yourselves, that's the number you keep in mind. And remember, at the end of the day, battle power literally means everything in this game, right? The stats matter, of course, but you can get stats through various means. Same with battle power and gems being a big one. Now, when it comes down to gems, let's go over each section here and talk a little bit about why this matters and what you should set up. Now, we're going to talk about two different things. We're going to talk about in terms of best, if you already have the combat power, what's the best to put in slot versus what's the best ones to use for overall power gain. Okay, this is going to shock some of you guys if you've never seen this before, but this is important. Now, you guys can see some of these are in fact level 4. Yes, this is my page 2. I'm working on my page 1. So the first thing you want to do, guys, is unlock your gem system. Then secondly, unlock the second page. This will give you more. Hopefully, they eventually expand this a little further because you guys can see this only has 4 slots while this page has 8 slots, right? So we eventually want the full 8. When they give us that, that's again more power, and that's something you should probably prepare for as well. And you guys can see down here what your stats are for each one. Now, if you've noticed a couple of different things, I'm usually using percentages for everything. Now, the reason why percentages matter is when you unlock your Army of Shadows weapons, they scale off percentage gems much better, which means their total power also increases. So keep that in mind when you're doing this, is that when you unlock weapons, these weapons will scale off of the percentage gems a lot more, which means your Shadow Army will also scale off those a lot more as well. So percentage gems are going to be your best friend, which means also, guys, you're going to need to keep up with Battlefield of Time, which means you're going to be doing all of these as much as you possibly can to gain as much of these gems as you possibly can as well too. And at the same time, you're going to need quite a few of the fragments as well. So make sure you get these done. Try to get them done every single week. Do not let your, like, this is now 10 out of 10 for a reason. I just finally hit that. I'll be doing this. I'm going to focus mostly on HP and defense. For me, those are the ones that are lacking most for myself. So that's where my focus is going to lie. So I'm probably going to start doing HP. Now, when it comes down to the actual gems, what do you put in slot versus what don't you put in slot? Okay, so best in slot for blue is always going to be percentage of HP. That's always going to be the best one. Now, funny enough though, if you want the most amount of power, this is weird that this still works this way, and because the reason why I know this works this way is because I removed one recently, is that these right here, the healing increase gems, still give you the most power even over HP percentage. It's really, really weird how that works. And I know this because I replaced one of these healing ones with a HP percentage B gem recently, so a 6-star versus a 4-star gem, and my power actually went down. I have no idea why it worked the way it worked, but it did. And of course, you want to aim for A's if you can. B's and C's are still better than 5s, guys. So it's not the worst thing in the world to do. So you can still promote that. Okay, so I wouldn't shy away from promoting some of these bigger ones, even if you have the other stuff in play, like let's say level 5s or whatnot, right? Still a good option. Okay, so HP percentage, best in slot. But when it comes down to most power, believe it or not, it's going to be healing received. It's really, really weird why that's still in there and why that gives you so much power. I thought they would have completely eliminated that. Okay, now another one in the yellows. Yellows are a little bit complicated. So what I'd like to do with yellows is get enough in here for 1 page worth. So all 1 page worth here, and right here you want to actually replace any of these like level 5s with level 6s, obviously, with precision. I try to get precision in everything, and the reason why I do this is because you want to try to get about 89 to 90% precision for your character, right? You guys can see it right there with the weapons that I have. And if I were to increase this, let's say up to this weapon, right, you'll see now the precision goes up. It's now at 90%. So that's kind of the aim here, guys, is you want to get 90% with your A5 weapons. That's the idea. So I go 1 full page of precision, and then I do one more precision in here, and then I add in crit damage or defense pen. That's up to you. Now, when it comes down to total power increase, this is not going to be the most ideal. The most power increase will be crit damage, but that's not what you want to do because precision plays a pretty big role in keeping everything steady in terms of the damage output that you do. So I would suggest doing at least something similar to this, and then using the rest for if you're looking for power for crit damage. If you're looking for something for against like guild bosses, defense pen also helps a little bit as well too, obviously. So it's up to you which way you want to go, but precision I think is the most important one to have, and then crit after that. All right, and then right down here, when it comes out to total power, it's gonna be speed. Yeah, I don't know why speed gems it's always been this way, and it continues to be this way. Speed gems are the #1 thing that give you the most amount of power. Now, in the second slot, I personally did a mixed bag. Okay, I did some MPR here, which is mana power consumption reduction, which is important, very, very important. And then I also did a little bit of MP gain as well. So it all depends on what you do. I personally have more MPCR, which is going to be, I think, more important for most of our units. But some units do scale off of MP as well, and some sets scale off of MP, or some blessings scale off of MP. So you could do a mixed bag of that, but quite honestly, I think having MPR or MPCR is probably your best bet, and that will probably give you guys the most amount of usage and meta. So MPCR with a mixed bag of MP, and then the speed throughout the whole thing is going to give you the most amount of power. And I mean, I can show you guys what I'm talking about. If I were to replace this, for example, with this is a big increase. You'll see everyone's power just boost up. If I did all speed gems here, I'd probably hit the next tier. To be honest with you, that's pretty crazy how much it gives you. All right, next up here, defense. So defense, again, percentage. Defense percentage is going to give you the most, especially when you're scaling off your shadows. If you don't have shadows, believe it or not, the best one is actually not going to be the defense percentage. It's actually going to be the damage reduction. So damage reduction gives you the most amount of power out of all of them when they're the same levels and same grade. And then if you want the most optimal in terms of numbers, it's actually additional defense. But in terms of the most power gain, when you have your shadows in place, it's defense percentage. Additional defense gives you more defense, I believe, for your hunters and for Sinjanu. So additional defense for overall stats, damage reduction if you don't have your shadow weapons. If you have your shadow weapons, then it's defense percentage. Pretty straightforward there, right? So like additional stats better for meta if you're over the power, defense percentage if you're looking for the most power if you have your shadow weapons, and then damage reduction with no shadow weapons. So newer players, that might be a thing to think about. And then of course for attack percentage works the best. Again, scaling off of that, believe it or not, yet again, healing received does work really well here. So if you're just sitting on them and you're like, I need more power, you could use those, but don't obviously diminish your power here. It's important to keep your power intact. Same with blues, keep your power intact, but ideally you want to go percentage all across the board. Now if you're looking to get more power power for hunters, which technically gives you the most amount of power, additional attack actually works out to be a bit better. So there you guys go. I have a little bit of work to do. I got to run in here and get some more. The reason why I'm actually behind is because my fragments ran out. So I got to work on some blues and I got to work on some greens, and that'll be my next focus. I'm going to try to get all of this done and then move on and continue working on the next thing, which will end up being my shadows. And once the shadows are done, I should be closer to 1.5 million by the time they're complete. I'm at level 67 out of 69, I believe, for shadows, and that needs to definitely be improved and done better overall. So there you guys go. I hope this guide helps some of you and kind of helps you get more power. And I know that's, again, some people are lacking in terms of beating the Voltaire fight, as well as some newer players are struggling with the newer boss, obviously, or the older boss, so Yogomon. So make sure, guys, if you are struggling, use this guide. It'll help you gain a little bit more power. It'll help you guys set up yourselves for success in the future, especially with upcoming content. Now, listen, I've been doing a lot of free-to-play content for a reason, is I'm trying to be relatable, right? I do have a pay-to-win, which I can just steamroll through everything. It's easy to do, but that's not my goal. My goal is to make sure I'm giving you guys some form of support through the game that allows you guys to kind of relate, to see what I'm doing, and just to motivate you, some of you guys, to do some things that you may feel is impossible, but able to see another free-to-play player do, and hopefully that helps you guys accomplish some of your goals. Also, guys, big thing, simulation. I have to finish 40. I lost the last boss, unfortunately, yesterday during my fight, but you guys can go back at any point without tickets and do it with training, and also complete it with training and get yourself all of your essence stones through that. You don't have to wait for the keys in order to get the essence stones. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Much love. Appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.